iDriveSoCal is brought to you by the very best auto retailers from across Southern California. When it's time for you to buy, or even just kick the tires on the idea of buying, just go to iDriveSoCal.com and click on dealers. iDriveSoCal.com, click on dealers, and get connected. Now, on with the podcast.
We are the world's first electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid, and hybrid licensed auto broker / concierge service. We go far beyond just dealing with cars with our clients. The HOV stickers, the clean air vehicle rebate that California provides to any type of a plug-in vehicle, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or an all-electric. We also provide chargers and the installation of chargers if they want that in their garage or in their office. We're charging several electric cars day and night. I'm running a 3,800 square foot house, and I don't pay anything for electricity.
Welcome to iDriveSoCal, the podcast all about mobility from the automotive capital of the United States, Southern California. I'm Tom Smith, and joining me today is David Eagle of Current EV. David is the founder and CEO of Current EV, which is a portfolio company of the LA Clean Tech Incubator. David, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Tom, for having me.
So, high level, tell me, what is Current EV?
We are the world's first, and as far as I know, only electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid, and hybrid licensed auto broker / concierge service. Say that 3 times fast.
Rolls off the tip of your tongue.
Right.
So I get the licensed auto broker part, but what do you mean by concierge service?
Well, we go far beyond just dealing with cars with our clients. So electric cars come with all sorts of other bits and pieces. For example, the HOV stickers that you can get for them. Often dealers don't know about them, or if they do know about them, they don't know how to get them. The consumer is stuck on their own. We help people get them. We can actually handle the paperwork for them. Same thing with the state rebate, the clean air vehicle rebate that California provides to any type of a plug-in vehicle, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or an all-electric. We help them with that. If they're purchasing the car and they're not sure how to get their $7,500 or up to $7,500 federal tax credit, we help them with that as well. We also provide chargers and the installation of chargers if they want that in their garage or in their office. And we also have a referral to a sister company here at Lacey called Pick My Solar for those people who want what we call the complete EV lifestyle experience.
Right.
If they'd like to add solar power to that.
If I want to lessen my carbon footprint exponentially and go completely electric, you guys can help in all the various capacities.
We can handle the whole thing or bits and pieces of it.
All right. Where did the idea come from? You're the founder, CEO, so I'm assuming it's your brainchild, but tell me about the beginnings.
Well, going back to 2011, when the Nissan Leaf actually 2010, when it was coming out, it had not come out yet. I was one of those people like the Tesla 3 model people now that are putting their $1,000 down for the Tesla Model 3. I heard about the Nissan Leaf. I went online. I put $99 down with a credit card to become one of the first owners of a Nissan Leaf. Sight unseen, hadn't driven it. All I saw were pictures and read about it. And almost a year later, in 2011, I became the owner of the number 7 Nissan Leaf in the United States. The first day they were here in Los Angeles, I was one of those people that had one.
So I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you real quick. Number 7 Nissan Leaf owner. A couple of things. One, that particular car is probably going to be worth some money down the line. 2, is there anything that I need to know about David Eagle that I don't already know that puts you at the status of getting number 7?
No.
Because, I mean, are you
I was just one of the very first people
just luck of the draw?
Yeah.
You're not like a billionaire that I'm not aware of?
No, I wish.
Wow. Okay.
If I were a billionaire, I wouldn't need investors in my company.
You wouldn't be sitting here with me.
Right. But so I had the number 7 Nissan Leaf, and I was so impressed with this car. I really liked it. And Nissan was sending us T-shirts and and hats and stuff all during the time that we were waiting for the car to come in. And so I still have these T-shirts. One of them says, "I wake up fully charged." That's what it says on the T-shirt. So I really like this car a lot. I mean, I've had Mercedes and BMWs and Jeeps and, you name it. I've had the gamut of cars in my life. This was a very special car. It was just loaded with all kinds of technology. The fact that I never had to put a drop of gasoline in it was great. The range was 90 miles. It didn't bother me a bit. Everybody's worried about this range anxiety, which we can get into later.
Right.
It's one of the things that we in our company do everything we can to dispel. That range anxiety is something created by and fostered by those people who want to keep gasoline going.
What were you doing before, as this was all coming about?
Before this, I was an Emmy Award-winning television producer and director.
Okay, television producer
and director.
What shows?
I directed Babylon 5, Sliders, a lot of after-school specials, which is what I started out doing, TV movies.
Okay.
A lot of sci-fi. That was my thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So 2.5 years you've been part of Lacey.
Right.
And Lacey helped you really become a thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Bring you into to reality from concept to creation. When did you begin operations and then help your first customer?
We started actually, once we had everything in place with our license and being our city business license and State Board of Equalization tax and all that stuff done, we started brokering just a little more than a year ago. We started in November of 2016, our first car.
And currently just operating in California?
In mostly the greater Los Angeles area, Southern California.
Okay. Because what you're doing as a broker requires state by state licensing.
That's correct.
And every state's a little different.
And developing business relationships with dealers as well.
And before I get too far into where we are now, where you came from, would you like to acknowledge your other key players?
Yes. My partner, John Coulter, is our chief marketing officer, but also kind of an equal partner with me. We're self-funded up to this point, so he and I both put a total of about $100,000. It hasn't been a huge investment because once we started brokering, we're actually making an income. So the amount of money that we make on a monthly basis more than pays our monthly nut. Doesn't pay our salaries. We're basically still working for nothing at this point. But John comes from the record industry in marketing and design. And then my other partner, who has since left the company but maintains an ownership, a small ownership in the partner. His name is David Van Middlesworth, and like I said, he worked for Coda.
Yep.
Mostly in marketing and also in business development. We have 2 UCLA interns who work about 10 to 12 hours a week each for us. So they're not working for nothing. We're actually paying them. They actually came through an intern program here at LA Clean Tech Incubator. They were so good that we asked if they would like to continue in a part-time way with us, and they did.
So a little bit over a year, how many cars total or how many monthly are you? Where are you at?
We're now at an average of about 10 to 12 a month.
Okay.
We're closing in on about 100 so far that we've done. And our broker fee, which is paid by the dealer, not by our customers, even though we represent our clients, and we handle everything for them.
So where is the business going? And let me preface that by saying you're providing the EV and the concierge service. So you're helping me as a customer immerse myself in the ecosystem of EV and solar in certain situations. But then you have this other component going on with the best deal. And we all know companies out there that tech companies as well as brokers, that because broker business isn't new, that are out there trying to do the same thing to various degrees and various capacities.
Right.
So 3 years from now, what does your business look like operationally, as well as 5 and 10 years from now? But then, also where's the growth?
Right. Well, 3 years from now, right now we're kind of a mom and pop broker, like any other broker.
Yeah, pop and two paid interns.
Right. Pop and 2 interns. So we broker the old-fashioned way.
Yep.
We have a client who calls us or contacts us by email. They go on our website, they contact us, and they tell us what they want. If they're not sure what they want, we educate them. That's a very strong component of ours. We help them find the right electric vehicle or hybrid or plug-in hybrid for their lifestyle, for their needs.
Now, just to dig into your business model a little bit, if you're negotiating with dealers, but then also the dealer's paying you, see where I'm going?
Yeah, let me tell you how that works. And we still get people the best deal. We even challenge our clients, and I'll get to that in a second. We work mostly with fleet dealer, the fleet manager at the dealers.
Yep.
And so we've managed to work out with most of the dealers a fleet rate for an individual car. The reason being that they expect us to do 20, 30, 50 cars over the course of a year. So they're treating us like we're doing that all at the same time.
Right.
An individual walking in off the street or picking up the phone and calling cannot do that.
Right.
So even though they're paying us a fee, we're getting a fleet deal for our customer. They're still getting a better deal than if they did it on their own, and we're getting paid by the dealer.
And now you mentioned something earlier, too, about test drives. Do you actually have a small fleet of vehicles that...
We do, but it's very small. We have a BMW i3. We have a Audi A3 e-tron. We have a Mercedes B250e, which they stopped making this year, and I'm really sad about that because it was a great car. We have a Chevy Bolt, a Chevy Volt, a Nissan Leaf. My partner has a Tesla, but we don't do test drives in Tesla because it's the only electric vehicle that we do not broker.
Why?
We would love to broker Teslas. Every Tesla that's made is sold or leased before it even comes off the assembly line. So they don't need brokers.
Where's the business from a growth perspective? Again, 5 years, 10 years?
Every electric car, anything that plugs in and just about every hybrid is on our website. So you don't have to go to 10 or 12 or 20 different websites of the different manufacturers to find out information about those cars. You can see that all on our website. It asks you for your personal contact information, your phone number, address, email address, et cetera, et cetera. If you have a current lease, what is it? Do you have a trade-in? All the questions that somebody needs in order to work up an offer. But what happens is when you click submit, it gets sent to as many as a dozen local dealers who have that car, but your personal information doesn't go with it. So it's sent anonymously. You're assigned a number. That's what the dealer gets, a number, a zip code for where you live, an approximate credit score, which you indicate in our thing. I am approximately above or below 720. So the dealer needs to know that in order to make an offer. Once the dealer has all that, they work up, it takes them 5-10 minutes tops to work up an offer, gets sent back to us.
So you're automating the process, but then on the front end, but then on the back end, you're putting your own human element in it. Why do that? Why not send all the offers to the consumer and allow them to select from?
Well, that's something that we're doing now because we can. What will happen in the future is that will be totally automated. Probably 3 to 5 years from now, that will be like that.
So it's just the technology perspective? You haven't built out the technology
No, the technology is there. We've chosen to do that. We want to look at these things beforehand until we feel comfortable that...
Oh, so the human intervention is in order for you to monitor the situation and
we're still, there are little things that we're fixing still. Since we did a soft launch about 2 months ago, we're learning things. We've got the customer's input worked out. We've got our input. Now we're still working on the dealer stuff.
Has the customer, at the point of requesting the deal from the dealer, has the customer made any commitment to you on the front end? Have they given you a credit card, $99, anything?
No.
They just express interest. So
we just have their email address, their phone number, their name. We don't have any financial information.
Gotcha. And now you just released this a couple of months ago, you said?
Yes, 2 months.
And how many deals have you worked through the system?
Through the deal builder, we're just under 20 at this point.
Okay.
It's been pretty slow. And we're still getting a lot of referrals from people who call us on the phone. And now what we're doing is we're asking those people to try the deal builder.
So is the plan to migrate the business more online as opposed to...
In order to scale it up and become a national business, we have to do that.
How do you manage the test driving component that you currently have at your west side?
Currently, that's done with direct contact. So if somebody indicates they want a test drive either through our website, it's a little form you can fill out where you want a test drive. We contact them and work out a test drive. We either do it directly with a dealer that might be near them, with or without one of us going. But right now, we try to go on those test drives so that we're there. And in many cases, some of the dealers will literally hand us the key to the car. The car's right there. It's ready to go. Take your client out. Not all of them do that, but we've got enough relationships with enough of them where we have the ability to do that. So with a salesman from the dealership doesn't even come for the test drive.
But then as you scale up, you're in San Francisco.
Right. We're going to have to rely on the dealers to just do those test drives for the customers with the understanding that they're coming in through current EV.
Okay.
So they won't pull you aside and say, hey, let's work out some numbers, and then you're there for 4 hours. That's not going to happen. Or at least we're going to try very hard to make sure that doesn't happen.
What are you projecting for growth?
We're hoping that within the next year to 3 years, we will be brokering up to 1,000 electric vehicles a month.
Just out of California?
No, nationally.
Nationally.
Yeah, but from our company, with the idea that 5 to 10 years after that, we'll be brokering as many as 10,000 units a month.
Wow. What are you basing those on? Because the thing that I would imagine you're looking at, I don't know, how long does it take to get a broker license in each state? I would imagine there's a little bit of
It actually doesn't take that long.
Is it quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. We'll be able to scale up. The bigger problem is getting all the dealers on board.
Okay.
That's where the time consumption comes in, because we have to talk to dealers, we may have to visit dealers, we may have to hire people in various different cities to become our sort of franchisee, in a sense. The number that we're basing this on, we've looked at all the studies of projections for EVs. The Luskin Center at UCLA in particular has done some really great studies about EVs. They're thinking whether we're talking about regular cars that are driven by human beings versus autonomous cars, ultimately they're all going to be electric. Sorry, oil companies, but you're going to have to find some other use for that stuff, because that's not going to be very useful in probably 10 years, maybe sooner, maybe later. So if you look at the 17, 20 million cars that are sold every year here in the United States, when they all turn to electric, or even if you're only a fraction of that, right now 3% of the cars that are sold and leased in the United States are electric.
Yeah, do you know the other numbers too? Electric and then hybrid as well?
Yeah.
On a nationwide scale?
Yeah. Offhand, I don't know the specific numbers of the hybrids, but on electrics, it's about 120,000 a year, which is not a lot when you compare.
But that's 3%?
3%, yeah.
Okay. And that's based on what I refer to as a SAR, right?
Right.
The total number of new cars put on the road
on an
annual basis.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of people still refer to what last year was 1%, but it's actually come up to 3% now. The Luskin Center is projecting what the electric vehicle market is going to be like in 5, 10, 20 years and so on. And using those numbers, just getting a portion of that amount, if we do 10,000 a month, that's $1.2 million a year, or 120,000 a year just from us. That's going to be a small amount. That's small potatoes. So I think we're actually being conservative in estimating that.
And you've been here with Lacey for
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And I know all the Lacey deals are different. So they have a customized agreement with you. From a runway perspective, you're here as long as you need to be here?
As long as we need to be here, and as long as they're willing to stick with us.
Okay.
So we hope that both are, that it's mutual.
Is there anything we missed? Anything you wanted to cover?
The key thing is this range anxiety thing that people are worried about. Depending on the car that you have, you know what your range is. If you go beyond your range, you need to know whether or not when you get to your first destination before you turn around and come back, that there's a way of charging. And there is a huge charging infrastructure already, regular charging.
It's building all the time.
And it's
go to the grocery
along.
store, you see it popping
That's
up.
right. You go to Whole Foods, they have free chargers in their parking lots. There's also now the DC fast chargers, which are not just twice or 3 times as fast. They're 4 times as fast as a regular charger. And a regular charger, the kind that you would put in your garage, for example, is 3 times faster than plugging into the wall. And by the way, that's another myth to dispel. Everybody thinks, well, gee, I have to have some special arrangement to plug in my car, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or an all-electric. You don't. Every car that plugs in can plug right into any wall socket. The only problem is if it's a all-electric car with a very big battery, it's going to take very long to charge it.
And what is it doing to your electric bill? Or are you doing it solar, so it doesn't
Since
matter?
I have solar,
right.
I charge 5 or 6 cars during the course of a day and night. We usually charge.
You mean at your place of business?
At my home. At my home.
What are you charging 5 or 6 cars?
Well, all my kids have electric cars.
Oh, okay.
And my wife drives one, and I have
Far from an empty nest. You got a full nest.
Yeah.
And everybody's EV.
That's right.
Okay.
So we're charging several electric cars day and night. I'm running a 38 800 square foot house, and I don't pay anything for electricity. I have a large enough system where I either produce more during the summer, even when I'm charging electric. During the summer, I'm producing more electricity than I use. In the winter, I'm producing just a little less than I use. I'm using a little bit more than I produce. But DWP credits me when I make more. So I build up a credit bank of power.
No kidding.
Right.
So your bill, your electric bill is zero.
Is net zero. In the summer, it's negative. It's in the negative numbers. In the winter, the bill ends up being in the positive numbers, but because I built up the credits, I don't pay for it.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's why we call that the total EV lifestyle experience. It's a great thing. I mean, never having to put gas in your car, charging it using the sun, no pollution whatsoever. Talk about environmentally friendly, costing less. I mean, people spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a year on gasoline. If you've got an electric car, you don't. You also spend much less money maintaining the car. The service of an all-electric car is minuscule price-wise and time-wise compared to a gas-powered car. There's no oil changes, no lube, there's no spark plugs to replace, there's none of that kind of stuff. The most things that are normally done in an electric car is if the air conditioning isn't cooling, enough. And I've always said that there are 4 elements that are going to happen when everything is going to change. The first, and this I've been saying for almost 4 years since I first got this idea, when electric cars become affordable, and a lot of them are already, that's element number 1. Element number 2, that they have a range of 300, 400, 500 miles on a single charge. Element number 3, that you can charge 500 miles in 10 or 15 minutes, not in 12 hours.
That's game-changing right there.
And that gas hits $5 a gallon. When those 4 things come together, we're not far from that. We're maybe 5-10 years tops away from that. When that happens, everything changes.
Okay, David. Interesting stuff. David Eagle from Current EV, thank you so much for joining me. Very much appreciate all the information, and best of luck to you and your partner as you grow Current EV. The website is
currentev.com.
Currentev.com. I'm assuming you can be followed on social media as well.
We're on Facebook and Instagram, and
what's the Instagram handle?
It's Current EV.
Okay, there you have it. That again was David Eagle of Current EV. David, thank you again. I'm Tom Smith. This is iDriveSoCal. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next time.